Alright guys, a new game got announced this morning that I wanted to do a video on, and that was Dragon Gaiden, the Rise of the Dragons. That's right, we got another Double Dragon game coming our way, which is super cool because the last time we saw the Lee brothers was way back in 2017 with the release of Double Dragon 4, which came out to an overall very lackluster reception among the fanbase. Basically, Double Dragon 4 really did not do the franchise justice, at least in my opinion. And overall, it does seem like that was the general census online, so I was happy to see that at least the majority agreed with me on that game. So hopefully with the new announcement of Double Dragon Gaiden, we finally get a game that will do the franchise justice, and we could put Double Dragon 4 in the rearview mirror as we look on to a brighter future for the franchise. Will Double Dragon 4 be able to redeem this franchise and bring it back to the spotlight? Well, let's take a look at the information we have about this upcoming title and see what we got to look forward to. However, before we enter the realm of the dragon, I want to take a brief moment and welcome anyone new to the channel. If you are new, please consider subscribing. I got a ton of stuff in the works that I'd love to share with you all. Also, if you do happen to enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like. But anyways guys, we got a lot to get into, so without further ado, let's get into it. The game is being developed by Secret Base, the studio that was behind Streets of Red, a horror-style side-scrolling action game. Streets of Red actually did receive pretty positive user reviews upon release. In fact, it's sitting at a 79% mostly positive rating on Steam and has a Metacritic user score of 8. So I'm going to be honest, I can't give my personal opinion on Streets of Red. That game somehow flew completely under my radar, but I will say that is something that's going to go on my wish list, and that's something I do want to check out. And it will be something to play while I wait for Double Dragon Gaiden to be released. After all, horror-themed beat-em-up does sound really awesome. But let's get back to the Lee brothers' newest adventure. And it's not just the Lee brothers we'll be able to play as in this game, as the game is said to have 13 unique playable characters, each with their own moveset and fighting style. Plus, we are also going to get access to tag team abilities, which is really interesting. 13 different characters, tag team abilities. This opens up the doors for a ton of unique combos and movesets that the game is going to offer the players. And honestly, in the gameplay trailer, we could already see how some of these characters really will be different in their play style. In this game, Marion is not just a damsel in distress. Instead, she is a gun-wielding playable character, obviously meant to take the fight from a ranged perspective as she blasts away at foes. Meanwhile, a newcomer to the series, Uncle Matin, is a big beefy brute with a giant riot shield. Pretty much a powerhouse type of character. I imagine he's going to be a slower speed character but do a ton amount of damage. Sort of like Max was in Streets of Rage 2 and 4. So far we've only seen 4 of the playable characters, but we already have the brothers with their martial arts, Marion using guns, Marin using a riot shield. So I imagine the other characters in the game will have their unique style, and that's something that is very interesting to me. Plus, the game is said to have also another unique twist for the franchise, as this is just not a straight up beat 'em up style game. There is going to be RogueLite elements to this title, and the game will also have a dynamic mission select features that allows us to pick which sector of the city we decide to take on first. So this title actually has 4 different gangs we have to overcome in different sectors of the city to take it back and reclaim it and bring peace to New York and all that stuff. So I'm imagining, depending on which sector you're taking on and which gang member you're going to fight, the levels will kind of have a theme to the gang members, and it will bring a lot of variety to the game, which is super cool. Plus, depending on the order we pick the missions, will also alter our playthrough. It is said that depending on what we pick first, it will change the mission length, the number of enemies, and the overall difficulty of the levels. So not only this, but as we play through the game, we earn cash by doing special KOs on different opponents. We could then use this cash to purchase different abilities for our characters, making them more powerful as we advance through the story. However, If we do end up dying before completing the game, we can use any remaining cash and turn them into tokens, which then can be used to unlock different characters or bonuses that permanently apply for our next playthrough sessions. The game is launching with couch co-op support, with online coming post-launch sometime later in the year, which kinda sucks as co-op is very important for these type of titles. And I also want to point out that so far in the trailer, we only see 2 people playing together. However, with Shredders Revenge and Streets of Rage 4, it would be really cool if we could somehow get 4-player co-op in this title. Especially with 13 different characters, imagine all the carnage you could have on the screen if you and 3 buddies were to tackle this game at once. So one thing I want to bring up before I do wrap up the video, and I've already seen hate for this online, and that is the art style. Yes, the game does look kind of like a mobile game. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say the art style looks amazing. However, it's not enough for me to pass on the game. I will say I would much rather them do more of an art style that we saw in Super Double Dragon on the Super Nintendo than what they've chose to go with. It's not enough for me to deter the game. I'm still super excited to play it. It's just weird. All the characters in the game look like they have giant heads. It's kind of awkward. So if you're like me and you are interested in this title, well, I have good news. We don't have to wait long to play the game, as it's said to be releasing sometime this summer, and it's coming to all platforms. So if you haven't upgraded to the current gen systems yet, don't worry, you won't be left behind. You'll be happy to hear that it's coming out for the Xbox One as well as the PS4. Plus, if you are a Steam user and you have the Steam Deck, I could pretty much guarantee this thing's gonna run really good on the deck. So it'll be another game that you can play on the go. But I want to hear what you guys think. Are you happy to have Bimmy and Jimmy Lee back? What other characters are you hoping to see in the game? I would love it if they somehow worked out a partnership with Microsoft and Rare to put the Battletoads in this, so we kind of get that Double Dragon Super Battletoads game nostalgia feel. But let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. As for me, I got a ton of work to do, so I'm gonna get back to the grind and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.